All right. Hello, everybody. Good morning. My name is Felipe. I'm the Community Outreach Coordinator here at San Diego Financial Literacy Center, DebtWave Credit Counseling. Thank you for joining us for another edition of Smart with Your Money Live. Today we cover the caution celebrity-endorsed financial moves, why you should be wary, what are some of the ones that have recently made headlines? And what should you consider before you start making financial decisions based on what your favorite celebrity has suggested or hinted to, or blatantly just said, go do this? A whole bunch of different topics today, but there's in the world that is constantly more and more, let's get our information from TikTok dance videos and influencers. It's important to take a step back before making money moves and deciding whether that's the right move for us. So we'll cover a lot of that today. So with that, first, a word of caution: be careful, because you may remember this Super Bowl ad from Matt Damon and crypto.com and Fortune really helping out the brave. But in this case, had you invested then in most of those cryptocurrencies, you as of right now, you're still in the negative. So it's important to be careful, because yes, there's a difference between bravery and financial security and proper financial investing. So it's important to differentiate the two. And the commercial was great. It made me want to jump up, grab my phone, scan the QR code, and start buying all kinds of random cryptos I never heard of. But it's important to slow down, take a step, take a breath, and then realize, okay, do some research of your own, and just be careful. Not just because they put out a multi-million-dollar commercial during the biggest game of the year when it comes to football, and they have one of your celebrity personalities that you admire, that you like to watch in all kinds of stuff, telling you to go do it, should you just jump on and go for it. The SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, is on the lookout. In fact, just last year, they fined Kim Kardashian $1.26 million for a crypto Instagram post. That's an expensive Instagram post, to say the least. But I mean, I'm sure she's her net worth is fine. I'm sure she'll brush it off and has moved on. There's a whole write-up on it on the DebtWave blog. That's what the QR code there is. But it's good that it was kind of eye-opening, I guess, more than anything, for the federal government, the Securities and Exchange Commission, to say, whoa, you can't post that on Instagram. Because you got to make sure that, or at least not like that, you can't post it. You have to be open about it. So Kardashian and former boxer Floyd Mayweather got hit, and a few other celebrities. So be cautious. The SEC's on the lookout, and this isn't new. The SEC's been on the lookout. In fact, I found this on the Securities and Exchange Commission website, where it was in 2017 where they were telling people, investor and alerts bulletin about celebrity endorsements. So it's not just me, the SDFLC guy, telling you about to be careful with your celebrity endorsements and which ones you take part of. But I mean, the FCC's been doing it almost 6 years ago. They were warning people about this. So it's not new. Perhaps it's been brought more to light. Perhaps maybe they've stepped up their game, or they've stepped up the enforcement, as far as, maybe that brings more attention, and people are a little bit more cautious to post about it. So, but this has been around. The SEC's been monitoring it, but now they've stepped in and they put their foot down and they said, okay, here you go. Now you've been fined. And maybe that'll, like I said, get other celebrities and personalities to think twice before they post. Now, if you want to keep posting about pictures of your puppy and things like that, God, by all means, go for it. The SEC doesn't care. But if you start telling people what cryptocurrency and look, this doggy coin looks cool, go ahead and buy it, that can get you into trouble. So just be careful. One of my 6 followers may jump onto the cryptocurrency craze and then they may try and sue me. But if you have millions of followers or a couple hundred or a couple thousand, then the post might, get you in trouble. My 6 followers probably don't really pay much attention to what I post anyways. There are lawsuits now, and you'll recognize some of the big names in the lawsuits. Tom Brady being one of them, especially if you are kind of sort of in the news and paying attention just a little to the news. You would have recognized FTX and the whole. I mean, that could be a swim live in its own. Maybe even a whole podcast episode, or maybe even at some point it's going to be its own little college class. But there are the lawsuits coming in now for all the celebrities that may have endorsed, whether it be FTX directly or their processes, and now they might be in some hot water and class action lawsuits, and it may cost them money. So like I said, maybe all this money being taken back, whether it's by the FCC or the SEC or by lawsuits, which we love here in America. We're very much lawsuit friendly, but maybe these will have celebrities kind of think twice. Is it worth me going ahead and doing this commercial? Is it worth me going ahead and posting about this or that, and maybe just put a little bit more of the onus on them to be a little bit more responsible with what they share. At the end of the day, though, my personal opinion is we've got to, as consumers, take a step back and not go for the first thing. It's not new. Celebrities have been endorsing things for years. You remember an old Pizza Hut ad? Just because Muhammad Ali sat at a Pizza Hut and had a pizza doesn't mean you have to go out and buy a pizza. Although I was like looking for this clip, and then I found his old an Adidas commercial with Muhammad Ali. It made me want to throw on my Adidas and jog to the Pizza Hut. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that we're new to this marketing thing. We've seen celebrities endorse credit cards and banks, and so financial things and non-financial things, from where we should eat to what airline we should fly to what auto insurance we should all go out and get. Celebrities endorsing things is not new. And for a long time we've had, do I go get a Gatorade? Just like Mike, because Mike Jordan did it. Michael Jordan's a Gatorade guy, and I wear my Michael Jordan shoes, so I must drink Gatorade, not Powerade. Or, am I a Pepsi guy because David Beckham was in the Pepsi ads? Or that commercial was funnier than this commercial. Should I go here? Should I go there? It really, we've been doing this for a long time, but now there's that extra element that, if you wanted to get a commercial on, there had to be a company supporting it. They had to, put their name on it. It was a Pizza Hut commercial. It was an Adidas commercial. It was a Nike commercial. It was a Gatorade, Fritos, whatever commercial. Now anybody can post on social media, and anybody can make a quote unquote commercial. You either put it on a funny dance, do a meme to it, or just post about it. Like I said, if I post something, 6 people see it. If one of these famous people posts something, millions of people can see it. And millions of people who are in completely different spots of their personal financial journey. So social media is back at it, and social media is back at making things a little bit more difficult. One of these celebrities posts something and I inadvertently like or retweet or whatever it is, repin or whatever you do on TikTok, re-TikTok it. I know that's probably not a thing. I apologize. I don't have a TikTok, but the re-snap it, is that a thing on Snapchat? Anyways, there's a component to it now that any time of day, from anywhere in the world, these celebrities can get paid to market to us. And they get paid to sit here and say, ooh, delicious. I'm going to drink out of my SDSU cup. And I'm still wearing the SDSU shirt because it was a great season, right? We made it to the finals. We may not have won, but those, you don't want to, that's, hashtag visit SDSU or something. I don't know. But, if you pick up your phone and you say, this is a such and such phone, right? So many different, and this is just kind of what I wear regularly, and this is the cup I use all the time. But, you get those posts and it could be, eat this or eat that, or I drink this water, or I drink that water, or this is my favorite coffee, whatever. But when it goes into the finances, invest here, buy this cryptocurrency, look at this stock, there's a whole different set of rules. If I say, this is my favorite coffee, it tastes so good, go buy it here. That's one thing. If I say, go invest in ABCD coffee and go buy this stock, here's the ticker. That's a different kind of post. That could get me into trouble. I could tell you to drink my favorite cup of coffee all day. But if I tell you to go invest in my favorite cup of coffee, now I'm in different areas that I'm not going to go into because I'm not a certified financial planner, and that's not what I do. I could tell you as an individual what cup of coffee I like the best and where you can go get it. But as a financial person, I can't say go invest in this coffee. So, not that my favorite cup of coffee is in the stock market, but there's different kinds of posts. So I think with those lawsuits and with Kardashian getting into trouble, I should have, I hope, lit up a little light in celebrities. Just put it on their radar and say, well, wait a minute, I can get in trouble for this. And I don't care about getting in trouble, but I do care about losing money, which is often a good motivator. And if they're starting to lose money, then they're going to go ahead and maybe take a step back and be more cautious and more open about what they're sharing. Look, if you're going to get paid, and I think the SEC has no issue with this, is you want to advertise, go buy this crypto, go buy this stock, that's fine, but go ahead and tell people that they're paying you $250,000 to make the post, or whatever the case may be. I don't know how much the going rate is. If someone wants to pay me, $100 to tweet to my 6 followers, yeah, I'll do it. I'll put it on there. This tweet paid me $100. But I don't know how much posts go before, but they're worth a lot of money when you have millions of people who are going to see it. So, I think they just have to be more open about it when it comes to it. And then it becomes important to remember the key word to a lot of this stuff that we do here at the SDFLC at DebtWave is it's personal finances. Keyword personal. It's really hard to throw a blanket statement that's going to be perfect for everybody's individual scenario. We're all in different stages of our personal financial journey. Whether you're in the middle of a debt payoff journey, you're looking at starting one, you realizing that, or maybe you just completed your payoff journey and you're debt free and you have this extra monthly cash flow that you were throwing at your debts. And now you're looking like, where can I invest this? What can I do with this money now? All that really good information is personal. You may have kids, you may not have kids, you may have a dog that needs to go to the vet, you may not have a dog, and so it's difficult to throw out a blanket statement and say, do this, do that fits everyone on social media without knowing the personal finances. You know who knows your personal finances the best? You do, because you're the one who's living in it. You're the one who's, whether you're putting an effort into it at the moment or you're just kind of putting it aside and hopefully putting an effort to it soon, they're your personal finances. You have to take the initiative to see that commercial, see that Facebook post, that Instagram, that tweet, that TikTok, whatever, and say, that might be fine for you, but it's not good. It's not a good fit for me right now. So some things to consider before you go investing. The post is great. I'm sounding a little old here, like, oh, this guy just hates social media. And that may be true. I don't know if it is or isn't, but I think there's some positives to it. Maybe that social media can get you motivated. Maybe that social media can, can say, okay, I watched 15 of these short videos, so now that's taken up 30 minutes of my time. I guess they weren't that short. But now I want to go do this. Now I want to go invest. Now I want to look into whatever it is that you're excited. For me, it's like I watched, I don't know, 25 little cooking videos from someone that I just discover randomly. I'm like, that's great. Let me go to the kitchen and do one of these. And then I go make a peanut butter and jelly. But it got me motivated to get into the kitchen. And at some point, I do send enough of those little recipes over to my wife where I'm going to pick one out and go buy the ingredients and actually do it. But there's lots of different things when it comes to investing, and you've got to take it into consideration. Here are some of the things you should consider before investing. First, do your research. Just because the celebrity mentioned this is great, buy this, these are my friends, this is what I'm doing, this is where I'm putting my money, all that stuff, which is great. Useful information, I guess, if you really value that person's opinion, but it's important to do your own research. What kind of company are you investing? What kind of history does that company have? Who else is investing? How much is that? Who's gaining money from you investing in that company? If I click on the link that the celebrity has offered on their post to make it convenient for me, are they getting paid for me to click on it? Are they getting paid for every time I open up an account? So do your research, try and find it, try and understand that, there's usually pluses and minuses, pros and cons, if you will, of investing in different investments, and some may be riskier. Some of the ones that promise you bigger return might be the riskier ones. What's the risk? What's your, do you have any kind of insurance, or are they regulated by the SEC? Is this kind of like a free range, go for it, wild west investing type thing? Do your research beforehand. And remember that just because that celebrity said, oh, wow, this is the best thing ever, I just bought $1,000 worth of, this crypto coin that I just found, it's the best, we're going to go get super rich, yay. We're operating under different budgets. The thing with personal finances is we're not all working with the same budget. Yeah, I like to tell my kids I'm a wildlife photographer, but my Shark Week videos are different than the ones you see on the Discovery Channel, because I don't have that kind of budget to rent out a boat, go jump in a little cage and take pictures of sharks. I'm working with an old digital camera that's worth probably $50 at this point, and a GoPro and my cell phone, right? So my wildlife photography is snails and deers I found around town. I don't have that kind of budget to be filming big Shark Week type lifetime photography, right? Yes, I do tell my kids that I'm a wildlife photographer, and my oldest was like, no, you're not, Dad. I was like, what are you talking about? I took a picture of a snail yesterday. It was out in the wild, hence wildlife photographer. But we have different budgets. Throwing $1,000 down on a crypto for a celebrity worth millions or billions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, is nothing to them compared to us who are just trying to figure out where to invest our money, be a little more cautious, trying to figure out how to, pay for, childcare expenses, or how to, how we're going to figure out the increased electrical cost or gas prices going up. We have to calculate that. And if you're trying to pay off your debts, that extra $1,000 one-time big payment to your debts, how much money is that going to save you? How much time is that going to save you towards your debt payoff journey, as opposed to throwing it onto something that may or may not have a return? Just remember that we all have different budgets, so that, yeah, I just bought 100 of this coin for $1,000 might sound like a good deal to someone who has millions of dollars worth of cash flow, and it may not be a big deal if they lose it. But to you, to most of us, $1,000 might be a big hit. Like, where did it go? I got stuff I got to pay. That could have looked real nice in my emergency savings account, or, help pay for my Home Depot trip during lunch, right? So just different. Oh, I hope my Home Depot trip's not that bad during lunch. It should be under $50 today. So, but if I don't break anything while I'm trying to fix it, that's a whole nother episode for Swim Life. But I'm taking a chance. I'm trying to fix something. If I fix it, it's $15. If I break it, it's calling a plumber. So wish me luck. I'll update you guys at the next Swim Life for those of you loyal watchers. But just remember, you all have different budgets that goes along with it. And we all have different risk tolerances. Some of us are more risk takers than others. I'm typically not a risk taker. But I saw a YouTube video and it said it's easy to fix, so I'm going to run with it. And, but when it comes to, investing, we all have a certain amount of risk. I think this is from Love is Blind, one of the previous seasons. That should be its own episode too. I don't like dating shows, but that one, for funny reasons, I do enjoy. But how risky are you? And some of those reasons are financial. Each investment has its own risks. Investments by nature have risks, but it's important to understand that there are different levels of risk and there's different levels of risk tolerance. So, that cryptocurrency, high risk, maybe high reward also, but that also comes with the high potential to lose. So how much of a risk taker are you when it comes to investment? And what are your money goals? What are you saving for? Are you saving this money for retirement? Are you saving this money for your kids' college? Are you saving this money to go on vacations next month, or this summer, or whatever the case might be? That really comes into play. What are you trying to save money for or what is that money earmarked for? If this is money that you hope to use in the next year to purchase a car, or for down payment on a home or something like that, you want to be careful with that money. You don't want to be putting it in a very volatile situation just because celebrity ABC told you to be brave about it, right? You want to be smart about it more than anything. So find out what your money goals are for that particular money and then set it aside accordingly. Is it your retirement fund? Okay. Are you 18 or are you 55? Because that's two different types of saving for retirement, right? You're 18, you can be a little bit more risky. You got a little while before you retire. Unless you're really good at the fire stuff, then you might be close. I don't know. But you're 55, 60, you don't want to be too risky. You don't have that much time to make up ground if you lose out on any kind of investment opportunity or things like that, right? So you really want to be cautious and be aware of, like, this is what this money is for. I'm not going to give you guys financial advice, like say, hey, go invest here, go invest there. Here's an ETF. Here's a stock ticker. Here's this, here's that. That's not what I do. I'm not a certified financial planner. And if my wife ever needed a case study on why I should not handle our own retirement investments, she just needs to open up my Robinhood app and see what kind of percentage of money I've lost since I started doing it with a small amount of money, not with like our real retirement. But it was a fun little project that I've lost money in ever since I started. So there's a reason why I don't do my own investing and why I'm not telling you where to go invest your money. But I will tell you that most financial professionals agree in a theory called, I don't know if it's a theory, diversification. Don't put all your eggs in one basket and have stuff spread out. You want to be cautious. You want to have, if you put everything in one basket, especially because you saw a celebrity endorse it, and that basket drops, eggs are expensive and they're a little bit more back to normal, but you just want to have things in different buckets so that you can go ahead, and if one bucket drops, usually another bucket will kind of float or maybe even go up and kind of balance you out in the long run. But diversification is a big one. And again, most financial professionals are going to agree with that. With just having a strong, diversified investment portfolio, or not even just investment, but just strong, diversified money situation. Now, there's an exception to this, and I didn't know there was a term to it, but one of our volunteer financial planners, his name's John Luskin, introduced me to, it was a couple of weeks ago, what he calls the cowboy account. And I thought this is a cool concept. In my head, this is what my little Robinhood account has turned into, but I didn't know it had like a term to it. The cowboy account is basically a set amount of money that you put aside. You've already taken care of responsibly diversifying everything else, but you've allowed yourself this little bit of money to just go crazy and to just go ahead and invest it in whatever it is, like high risk, like, oh, this would be great. If this works out, I'm going to be super stoked and I'm going to have, I'm going to make a ton of money. I'll put it on. Oh yeah, sure. This celebrity sounds good, or this ETF or this stock or whatever it is. So I thought it was cool that he had a name to it. There's a QR code for his article to it. And he's one of our longtime volunteers for our opportunity clinic, which you can register for on our website, sdflc.org/online, to go straight to the registration page. And you can talk to a certified financial planner and ask them, actual investment questions, and ask them, and you might end up talking to John, asking about the different dangers of investing in crypto or whatever the case may be. So he has his blog. There's the link to the Cowboy Account blog. I thought it was cool. And it's just a cool idea. Yeah, you want to get in there and invest because you saw it in a commercial, or you heard some stock is down, but it's going to go up, whatever it is. But it's a certain amount of money that you'd be okay with if you lost. That's the key to it. You're not going to lose sleep over it at night. I had another financial planner explain it as, you want to go buy crypto, start off with investing what you would pay for a nice meal out, and then skip that meal out. And if you lose it, oh well, you saved yourself some calories, by not eating out and just staying home. But you're not going to lose sleep over it. You're not going to be stressing about it. You're not going to be running to check on it every time you hear about this or that on the news. And that's kind of a cool thing to it. So, when it comes to social media, just be careful. Don't take your financial advice from it. Get recipes from it. Learn how to dance or new dance videos. But don't take financial advice from it. I don't think Shakira or Roy Choi give any financial advice, or at least not that I've heard of. But she could dance better than I, and he can cook better than I. So go on there, get your, get inspired about money. That's cool. That's fine. I'm all for that. And then learn about these little hacks and those kind of hacks, and then do your research, see if they're a good fit for you, see if they're real. Research into that individual and what they've been doing, and whether or not you should trust their financial guidance or advice. And go out there, learn some dance moves. And if you see any good recipes, send them over my way at SDFLC on Twitter, because I'll try them eventually. But don't go getting your financial advice from dance videos or TikTok, or waiting rooms while you're playing games online. That's not where you want to get to. If you do have any questions, like I said, we have our financial smart with your money one-on-ones, sdflc.org, and then you'll see them under programs. And those are free, open to the public, virtual or over the phone. You could talk one-on-one with a certified financial planner, pro bono help, and something, answer your questions. And then you could say, hey, I saw Celebrity over there telling me to go buy this. What do you think about it? And that is it for me. Any questions or any good recipes you found online that you're just like, you need to try that? I've recently found that you can use cornflakes to bread chicken. It's kind of weird, but it actually works, and it's like low fat and low calorie compared to actual bread. It has nothing to do with personal finances, but I did learn it on social media and I tried it and it worked out all right. So there are good stuff on there. But a lot of celebrities who were encouraging the purchase of crypto NFTs really quieted down after the SEC. Yes, someone over on Facebook mentioned that listening to your presentation, I realized a lot of celebrities who were encouraging the purchase of crypto or NFTs really quieted down after the SEC started finding other celebs. Yes, I agree. It really slowed down. And I think more than anything, I don't know if the SEC planned it this way. I'd like to think they were, that was their plan all along. They said, we're going to hit the most out there influential. It's just like social media. Let's find the person with the most followers who's going to make the most noise. And then that'll show the rest of them like, ooh, if they went after her, maybe I should watch what I say, because I can't afford that kind of money. That's going to hurt me. It may not hurt her as much, but it's going to hurt me as a celebrity who's maybe not quite as high paid. I think they just went after like the highest paid, highest profile they can go for, and to just kind of send a message. And maybe it was like, if you guys don't stop, we're coming after all of you, which I think really slowed things down. I think people are being more cautious, which is a good thing. I mean, I'm all for content creators and people making money off all these different platforms as influencers and selling ads, and I'm all for that. Nothing against that. I keep telling my son we're going to start our own YouTube video. I'm setting the bar low though. If I get 10 subscriptions, I'm going to call it a win. But that is, I'm all right with that. Make money, do all that. But when you start giving people financial advice, I have a little problems with that. Because it's just so hard to give actual personal financial advice, blanket statements that are going to fit everyone. Aside from really basic, simple things like make sure you have a savings account, avoid debt, that kind of thing. It's really hard to just kind of, and it's not even all debt, avoid, credit card debt or things like that, because some debt is unavoidable and may not be bad financial decisions. Buying a house, student loans. It's debt. So you can't just say avoid debt, all debt is bad, because in some cases, maybe it's not. But, it's really hard to throw that blanket statement out there, aside from maybe budget and save money, which I think most people will agree with. So hopefully that continues the trend of maybe I won't post that because I really don't want to get fined like Kardashian because I don't have Kardashian money. So yeah, absolutely agree. You can always continue, and thank you for that question. You always continue learning. We have a podcast. I think they actually had an episode on this. I should have found it. I apologize, I didn't. On I think we did one when it first happened on the celebrities and things like that. But Talk Wealth to Me, get it wherever you find your other favorite podcasts. New episodes coming soon, promise. And then join us on the next episode. What is credit counseling? You may have heard the term, you may have never heard about it. What is credit counseling? You see it right there in the name, DebtWave Credit Counseling. So kind of know what we're doing here. I've been doing this for a while. I know it. But there was a time before, I worked at DebtWave where I was like, what is credit counseling? At the time, I didn't even know it existed. So, I think it's important to kind of understand. Sometimes it gets lumped in with other types of debt plans and things like that, but it's not, it's its own thing. It's important to understand the differences, the benefits, who it might be a good fit for. So what is credit counseling? Join us in 2 weeks, April 26th. Should be a good one. And thank you everybody for joining. Appreciate you for stopping by again. If you're watching this afterwards, appreciate you for taking the time to watch this on YouTube. or on social media. See, I told you not all social media is bad. Thank you, everybody, and have a great rest of your day.